Our club meeting. Oh,
Yeah. This is not a club meeting, but yeah, never mind. I make everybody happy.
sure. Give me a second.
By the way, all the best, guys.
Announcing the arrival of World Travelers Toastmasters Club number 079679399.
We have proven that we do not have to be in the same room to be united, to encourage each other, to succeed, and to celebrate together.
Speechcraft 2026 is now a reality, hosted by World Travelers Toastmasters Club under the theme Passport to Public Speaking. Speak around the world. Welcome, welcome to our facilitators, our coordinators. Welcome to our speech crafters and welcome to our members. We are so delighted to be here and we are in for a grand time. We have 6 sessions. Today is the first of 6. Thank you, Eliza, for sorting this out. And so we are here to have a good time. At this time, we're a little behind time, so I'll ask our coordinator, Uni Hati, to come and just share her opening address at this time. Please help me welcome Uni Hati.
Thank you. Warm welcome, fellow travelers. Tonight, we are not boarding in the plane, but we are boarding with the passport to public speaking. So there is no immigration queue, no baggage fee. The only one to check is, are you ready to learn? Today, the good news, the World Travelers Club has upgraded everyone to first class in confidence That's why we have this training. So buckle up, get ready, and absorb everything to make us to be better and excellent speaker around the world. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Uniati. And we have our timer. Our timer today is Toastmaster Zuari. And this time I will be calling our keynote speaker. But before he comes to us, I will share his, just to share something about our magician. Yes, he is indeed a magician because he told me that I came from Jamaica just by looking at maybe my earrings or maybe my badge, but he surely is a magician. And so our keynote speaker today is distinguished Toastmaster Kadri Pethi. He's a storytelling magician and public speaking mentor for CXOs with over 20 years of experience. He is a Guinness World Record holder for delivering the longest lesson learned, teaching 36 students non-stop. Wow, for an astounding 78 hours and 3 minutes, raising 25 lakes from the education or for the education of underprivileged children. He is the first Asian to win the prestigious International Tape Speech Contest at the Toastmasters International Convention 2000, triumphing over 6,500 participants from 65 countries. How awesome is that? Kadri has been a dedicated Toastmaster for 25 years. In the past year alone, he has conducted 30 educational sessions across multiple districts worldwide. He has chartered and mentored over 20 clubs, led numerous speechcraft and youth leadership programs, and received several accolades, including Presidential Citation for Outstanding Dedication from Toastmasters International. He was featured in Toastmasters International magazine, inducted into the Toastmasters Hall of Fame. Our keynote speaker is a TEDx speaker, storytelling mentor for startups, and speech coach to CEOs and country heads. Wow. Kadri is also a leadership coach for Fortune 500 companies. He is a gifted poet and co-author of a book on public speaking with Dr. Dilip, past president of Toastmasters International. Of course, when I grow up, I want to be like Kadri. Kadri delivers keynotes to raise funds for eye surgeries, wow, and support acid attack survivors. In recognition of his contribution, he was honored with the International Citation for Outstanding Service to Humanity from Lions Club International. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome this outstanding human being. Yes, distinguished Toastmaster Kadri Pethi. Welcome, sir. I'm honored to introduce you. The virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you, Jasmine. It felt like the famous West Indian cricketer Vivian Richards introduced me. It was so beautiful. Okay, thank you. So today, how many members do we have? We have 24 people. Let's have a gala session today. A great war is not won by a sharp knife, but a knife which was sharpened much before it was used in the battlefield. Similarly, a great speech was born long before it was written and delivered on the stage. So, when you want to start writing a speech, what do you do, Jasper?
After shaking in my boots, I just look around Sometimes I look around, I look within to find my experience because I have so many experiences. So I try to speak from that perspective.
So the physical process of writing, you take a paper and a pen and start writing. Would be that we do? The physical process.
The physical process, yes, and maybe sometimes start writing with my eyes, my thinking, and then I put on
Beautiful.
paper.
So most people, when they want to write a speech, take a pen and write a speech. And this was the approach I used in the year 2002. So when I was a young Toastmaster, so I would take, it was a Project 10 speech called Inspire Your Audience. So I don't want to be highlight. Yeah, 1 second. I love to have the gallery view. Yes. Okay. So I would take a pen and write, finding what topics. I soon ran out of topics. I would write paper after paper and I would end up with just hundreds of scribbled papers and what was famously known as a writer's block. So I wanted to call the VP Education and say, I'm not going to give this speech, even though there are 2 weeks ago. I need more time. And of course, the VP Education is upset because they don't have speakers. And that was a Sunday morning. The newspapers jumped at me, the heading. It says, an 18-year-old boy dies from AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. And this got me thinking, how does a young teenager die? I thought AIDS came to only people who were more adults, who involved in so many other activities. So this started me thinking as I drove the car. The more I thought about how did he die? What could be the reason? Was he responsible? Can I use this as a speech material? What message will I give my audience? So when the first thing I do when I write a speech is this method I use. Oh, wait 1 second. Yes. You can see this. You can see it. Yeah. So today we are going to learn how to map a speech, how to structure a speech, what elements go into a speech, how do you open a speech beautifully, and how do you close a speech. So these are things we're going to cover. So this is the 4-step method I used to write a speech from the last 2 decades. I call the brewing of a speech. It's called the B, which is called the brainstorm, where I said an idea struck me when I was reading the newspaper. And I said, wow, this is a great idea. It got me thinking as I was driving the car, in my bath, even in having dinner, at work. I started thinking about the topic more and more. So brainstorm first with yourself to generate more ideas. The more you're attached or addicted to the topic, the better it becomes. The first level was a brainstorm asking myself, what core message can I give? What story can I add to this? Next, brainstorm with your mentor, brainstorm with your wife, with your children, maybe even your dog. And you'll be surprised to see people have different perspective about the same topic. So the first level is to brainstorm. Don't touch your pen. Don't write down anything. At the end of the brainstorm sessions, you'll get some bullet points, some idea, some point. Just note it down in bullet points. I'm not even writing the speech. And this could be even I have a dairy in the car. As I'm driving, I stop the car and I know this is a good point. That's a good point. I go to my mentor. So he said, Kadri, why don't you take this point? Why don't you cover that area? How AIDS is first infected? What are the facilities in India? So I put down everything and I brainstorm with myself and brainstorm with the mentor. Next, the research. Research adds credibility and depth to your topic. Now, how did I go do about research? It was in the year 2002. Internet was at a snail's pace in India. So I just took my motorbike, landed up at the health department, met the doctors, met the nurses, met the health secretary. They gave me a lot of literature on AIDS. I collected all that. So I started researching more and more. The more I researched, the more I loved the topic, the more I learned about it. And the entire speech, along with the brainstorming points, started percolating in my mind. Now I added some more points, threw away some more points. I've not started writing the speech, but I got a couple of points, about 10, 20 points. Next, what did I do? I said, I need to learn more about this. What is the next point? It's called experience. And how do you experience? I decided to visit the AIDS center in Bangalore called the Freedom Foundation. And Freedom Foundation was a center dedicated to mainly young children and students who are suffering from AIDS. You had children from 13, 14, 18 years. So I would go regularly, less as a project. I got so much moved, touched by the suffering of the children and in the joy they had, even though they were suffering. And I started teaching them. In fact, I took a group of college Toastmasters from Jain College on a trip to that center to teach the students, even though these students, these young children may die in maybe 2 years, 3 years, we do not know. And there I met a boy called Ruben. He was doing his BCom, Bachelor in Commerce in Bangalore. He came from a wealthy family. They had a fleet of Mercedes Benz and they gave him everything they wanted in life. Along the way, he led a reckless life and he contacted AIDS. The moment the parents came to know that he had AIDS, it was no more a medical issue. It was no longer a son's problem. It was a social problem. Social stigma. What will the relative think? What will the world think? So they silently brought him to the Freedom Foundation, the AIDS Rehabilitation Center, admitted them, and told everyone that they've sent him abroad for studies. They didn't want the world to know that boy had AIDS because the family's name would get spoiled. So I used to spend a lot of time with Ruben weekly, twice, thrice. And he was more affected by the rejection of his family than the disease that he was suffering from. But yet, he found compassion in teaching the young students and spent his time over there. One bright summer morning, around 9 o'clock in the morning, I got a phone call from the center. They said, Kadri, sir, Ruben is dead. I went to the center. His parents were informed. But they told on the phone, we cannot come. People will come to know us. We'll give you how much of money you want. Please take care of him. Please don't tell anyone. And this boy was cremated on the foundation, the Freedom Foundation. And as I watched the burning crimson fire of the funeral, the caretaker told me, sir, his parents were so rich, they even got to a Mercedes with his lucky number 9. But he was the most unluckiest kid I ever known. And that moment I realized the world does not need more successful people. It needs more compassionate people. What Ruben lacked was love and compassion. So, why is experience important? Because when you experience a story, when you experience a situation, you feel the emotions. When you feel the emotions, the audience feel the emotions. As a speaker, if you don't feel emotions, how will the audience feel emotions? So I believe that great speakers experience, they want the audience to experience. So you have to understand that if you're going to write about pollution in the lake, you have to visit the lake, talk to people around there, the fishermen or the people who are walking, talk to experts on the subject. So if any subject you're talking about, please experience the experience. And when you've completed the process, the whole process of writing a speech is no longer a speech. It's a powerful message that you're carrying, which you want to share with the world. So the brew process starts much before the speech is born, much before the knife comes onto the battlefield. So brainstorm with yourself, brainstorm with mentors, friends, and family. Do a lot of research. This is where ChatGPT can be helpful, not used for writing a speech. Experience, you create the experience, go in and find out what happened. Because when you experience, the speech is completely default. The ethos, the pathos factor in the speech when you deliver becomes different. Then you write. Now, here when I say write, you're not writing the whole speech. You're writing first the core message. What are the elements of a complete speech? Let's go into that. This I call as mapping your speech. This was coined by Eliza. I didn't coin it. So, okay. Now, first you start with general purpose. Every speech has got a purpose, general purpose called inform, inspire, persuade, entertain. That means you have decided in the beginning what you want to do with your speech. In my speech, I wanted to inspire the audience to be compassionate. Okay? If you're baking a cake, you're informing your audience how to bake a cake. If you're doing a humorous story, you're entertaining the audience. If you're asking someone to donate blood, you're persuading the audience. So right in the beginning, decide what is your general purpose. Of course, some speeches can be a combination of all the four purposes or three purposes. So be careful which you choose. I usually have a combination of 1, 2, 3, 4 all together. So it becomes more powerful. So you can start up with one general purpose. As you become a better speaker, keep adding. Now comes the specific purpose. Now, Jasmine, you know where we got this from? We got this specific purpose, which is also the core message, from the brew method, from the entire experience. So when I experienced the story of Reuben, I wrote this statement: the world does not need more successful people, but it needs more compassionate people. Now, my entire speech revolves around this specific purpose. It cannot deviate from this. So, the end of the speech, I want my audience to understand, to be inspired that world does not need more successful people, but to have more compassionate people. I want them to be inspired to be more compassionate. So this is the core of a message, and this is like your whole speech rotates around this. So this is also called the specific purpose or the core message of your speech. Now, you need to have relevant supporting material. Now, I have 3, 4 stories in a speech. Maybe I have a quote, a video, a testimonial, a prop. So you need supporting material. So right in the beginning, write down my general purpose, my core purpose. What stories can I add? What quotes can I add? What videos are there? Put it down. You may not use everything, but write it down and use it appropriately. Got it? This is called the mapping your speech. Now, what we do next is there is something called theme, which I'm very unhappy most Toastmasters don't use it. Now, what is a theme? A theme is like a bogie, an engine. It's like that unifies the whole speech. It's a resonating factor. It keeps repeating over and over again. So it is like a thread which runs through the entire speech. It's like the engine which carries the entire train. A theme unifies the whole content by resonating. Now, let me give you an example. Now, you can write a speech theme, 2 themes. I use the word, the core message, but remembers your compassion more. So I can use this in every paragraph or at important points in the speech. You understand? So the audience keeps remembering your speech by the repeating factor. Continue to keep repeating. For example, in my speech, The Good Samaritan, which won the International Speech Contest, my core message was, and theme was the same. It said, young man, when you're born, you enter the world crying, and people around you are smiling. Live your life in such a way that when you die smiling, and people around you are crying. Now, this was my core message, and this repeated in the speech about 4 times. So this helps the audience remember your speech at crucial points. Got it? Now, we also have a theme which is a repeated phrase. Can someone tell me where I see something in you. Can someone tell me where they have heard this word? Eliza.
Dhananjaya speech.
Yes. Now, if you see that, this is not a core message. Okay. It's a repeated message, keeps coming over and over again, which gives a resonating factor, ringing factor to the speech. You got it? It's a resonating. For example, in Martin Luther King, he says, "No, have a dream. Have a dream." He keeps repeating the speech continuously. Okay? So that's a core message, and it keeps repeating over again. Please understand, without a theme, a speech is very weak. All the components are distributed all over. They don't act like a one cohesive unit. So theme is a unifying factor, and you can either use a core message or repeated phrase. In fact, I've written an entire chapter on how to use a theme in a speech. Okay? No theme, not a good speech at all. It's a loosely structured speech. If you look, most all world champion speech I have seen have a beautiful theme connected. Now, once the theme is ready, go to the body of the speech. I'm not coming to the opening and body closing at all. So every body will have about 3-4 points. Sorry, there's a spelling mistake. The first point supported by a story. The point I want to make is that AIDS is very, very prevalent in India. That's a point I'm making. The example I say, in the year 2024, there are 26% of AIDS patients only in the state of Karnataka. And again, repeat the statement. So you support the body of the speech, first point, by a story. It could be a simple story, or it could be a statistic. It could be a testimonial. It could be a prop. So first point, second point, three. This is the body of the entire speech, each body. Now you're not connected all the speech together. These are all loose points. Point 1, point 2, point 3. Don't worry about connecting all the points now. Okay, you can do that later. So the first point, second point, third point, 3 bullet points. Maybe story 1, story 2, story 3. Or first point supporting compassion. Second point supporting compassion. Third point could be a testimonial. So this is the body of this speech. It's a simple structure. I can send the template to Elisa later. Now comes the opening of the speech now. Now you got your speech completely done. I will not be going into the connections. What we will do is we will knit the speech together by connecting point 1, point 2, point 3. A simple structure could be the main primary reason for AIDS in India is ignorance. For that, we have to have more knowledgeable sessions, information being broadcasted. So you give so and so. The second more important point. Then you move on to the third important point. It's a very simple structure of transitions. There are a lot of structures, and you have to connect everything. If your connections or transitions are weak, your speech becomes very weak and the audience cannot follow it. It's like jumping from one point to another without any thread. So the whole thing, from one point to the second point, it should move very, very smoothly. They are called connections and transitions. So there are a lot of simple connections and transitions. Moving on to the second point, another factor. Like that, there are a lot of simple things. Another extraordinary feature. Like that, there are a lot of connections you can use. Now, what are the different kind of openings? A question. A startling question. When was the last time you went for a health checkup? A startling statement. Are you aware that 75% of people fear public speaking more than death? But understand the opening must be connected to the topic. It can't be just vague. Next one, a short story. It must be connected to the topic. Keep the story short, crisp, as short as possible, and get them into the topic very quickly. For example, I stood on the stage in front of 300 people. I had prepared extremely well. When I saw the dazzling lights on my face, I completely forgot the speech. I walked down from the stage, humiliated, telling myself I'm never going to come back on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, nervousness is tough. Public speaking is tough, but each one of us can learn it. So I got the story, And today I'm going to teach you three tips and techniques on how to overcome nervousness. So the story introduces the topic, how to get into nervousness, a personal experience. So a short story which is relevant, usually it's a personal story. A humorous anecdote. The first time I tried my hand at baking, my mother was not there. I did not know the difference between baking soda and what is the other soda? Yeah, Elisa. Baking soda and whatever soda. Two soda, they looked very similar. And when I finished the cake, it was completely puffed off. Okay. So you can use a humorous anecdote, personal anecdote, whatever from your life, or even you can even take a short time. Preferably in a humorous anecdote, it should get connected to the topic. You can use a visual aid. For example, I can demonstrate. Where is bottle? If you have a plastic bottle, it's okay. Excuse me one minute. So I might say, how many of you have drunk water from this kind of plastic bottle? Raise your hands. That's me. Okay, great. So we use this water bottle every day. But let me tell you one thing. Please do not use it the second time. Every bottle at the bottom has got a triangle with markings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lower the number, more dangerous the plastic is. Number one, you have to throw it and chunk it immediately. If you have a nice hard plastic drinking bottle, it'll have 5. Now, what happens every time you use the water again? This has got micro poisonous organisms or atoms, and every time mixes the water, it is carcinogenous. And you are drinking poisonous water every time because the plastic elements are very carcinogenic and poisonous. So next time you use a water bottle, crush it and throw it. Please do not use it the second time. It's so dangerous. Now I'm talking about banning plastics, use of plastics. I introduced by a prop. Okay. There was a time when I talked about the opposite of Japanese culture. I used to demonstrate a samurai sword to show strength, resilience, and boldness. I said the Japanese also have, I put a bonsai plant, the Japanese also have calmness, awareness, and spirituality. I use a bonsai plant. So I showed the Japanese culture in 2 different dimensions using the prop. But be careful, don't hang on to the prop for a long time. Introduce the topic and rumor. Then you can engage the audience. For example, I can even tell you, all of y'all, can you just close your eyes for 30 seconds? Yes, you can open your eyes. In these 30 seconds, 17 children have died due to the war between America and Iraq. Who's responsible for these deaths? And why do young children suffer? Now, I did an activity to get you involved, okay, to get the hook. Now, participation is, I can ask you, how many of you think you can climb Mount Everest? Raise your hands. Please, how many of you can think you can raise Mount Everest? I don't see a single hand. Climbing Mount Everest first begins in the mind, then in reality. Most of us give up even before we begin. First, you need to conceive, believe that you can climb Mount Everest. So this is how you have a participation in the audience. So these are various methods opening. There are hundreds of different methods opening. The more creative, I opened with the samurai sword. I opened with a cross. I opened with a bottle. I opened with a siren. So they're very different. I opened with a poem, with a quote. There are so many ways you can open. If you like Craig Valentine, when he won a speech, I think in 1999, he just stood there for 30 seconds without saying a single word. So he opened the speech with the silence. So various methods opening a speech, but understand it must be connected to the topic, number one. The objective of an opening is to get the attention of the audience, build a bond, and introduce the topic as soon as possible. So these are three objectives for an opening. Then you're going to the closing of the speech. This is one thing very experienced speakers do, non-verbal signals, by moving forward towards the audience, slowing down the rate of delivery. Okay, move slowly, a gesture slow down, eye contact slow down, eye contact becomes focused. Okay, so these are some of the non-verbal signals experienced speakers use. If you watch them closely, you'll know. They might have been very energetic. They might calm down and start going slow down. The movement of the stage might slow down. They might move towards the center stage, more closely towards the audience. Now, vocal signals are lowering a rate of delivery, maybe increasing delivery or decreasing delivery. For example, if you see in vocal signal, there are two kinds of endings. One is a crescendo. We take Martin Luther King's speech, I Had a Dream. He says freedom at last, freedom at last, freedom at last. He just goes towards and he keeps increasing the decibel levels. And the end he says, freedom at last. Crescendo, it keeps increasing decibel level to the highest. Now, dissolve ending is exactly the opposite of crescendo. It keeps coming down. From a high pitch, high level, it comes to a low pitch. I just gave up. There's nothing I could do about it. I looked at him, held his hand and said, I'm sorry. I can't help you. And he walked away. And there were tears in my eyes. But there's nothing I could do. And that was the last I saw of him. But that's a dissolve ending. Exactly opposite of a crescendo ending. Okay. Now we come to the call for action. We can use it to persuade people to vote, or to give up something, to donate, to vote for an call for action. So that's a very good idea to call for action. Most political speeches are call to action. When I go to raise funds for NGOs, I call for action asking them to donate. Here's where storytelling becomes a powerful tool. Another method is make them reflect. Think about. Just I told you about the Iraq-Iran war. If I use at the ending, no, just don't give them advice, don't do anything. Just say, who's responsible for this war? What can each one of us do to stop this war? Can we stop violence in a home first? The violence of agitation, aggression, the violence of shouting, the violence of jealousy. So you can make them reflect. Yes, this is one of my favorites. You can end with the quote. So you may enough quote, but make sure the quote or the poem is delivered well and is relevant to the topic. Okay. It requires a lot of practice when you do a lot of resonance is there, pauses is there, emotions are there, rate of delivery is there. So this is a beautiful way to end. Then refer back to the theme or the core message. Come back to the core message. Remind them what is the theme or core message. For example, the core message could be tough time never lasts, but tough people do. I'll come back and say, ladies and gentlemen, Toastmasters, yes, you have lost speech contest 6 times in a row. Do understand, tough times never last, tough people like you do. So come back to the core message or the theme. There are other elements of speech. Vividity is one of my favorite, using the senses. You just don't say, I saw the sun. You say, I saw the crimson sun going down the mountains. Okay, I saw a blue peacock. I saw a goldfish in the waters. I could feel the breeze on my face. I saw the snow-capped mountains. I felt a hot, scorching sun in my hand. So you give vividity, all the senses used. Make the audience, transport them to the place of where the action took place, the story took place. So vividity is very important. Give color, maximum color. You say black gate, white footpath. He's wearing a red shirt, white beard, like that. Resonant language is using similes like the ball was hard as a rock. Okay, metaphor. He had a heart of a lion. Then parallelism, like of the people, by the people, for the people. So resonant language, you can use triads. I entered the reception here and I saw a pretty pink plum woman. So you can use I saw, I came, I conquered. But make sure that this resonant language don't come too much and don't use them for making them colorful. But if it is relevant to the story and if it gives life to the story, you can use it. And also don't use a couple of similes and metaphors close to each other or next to each other. Okay, Lisa? Next is macro and macro analysis. Now, what I do first is I write the entire speech, go through, type it out. Then I start marking out where I should put high pitch, low pitch. I have a marker for pauses. Pause. Now I put 1 strike for 1 second, 2 strike for 2 seconds. So my whole speech will look like a it'll be full of colors. It'll be full of dark red, light red, green. Green indicates I have to slow down its emotion. Red indicates I'm very angry. And some words I will stress. I'll say, shut up. I must say, shattered. So I keep putting all that. And when I'm going through the speech, I keep the core message that the world needs more compassionate people than successful people. You must make sure every sentence, every word, every letter does not deviate from the core message. No story, no anecdote, no point should deviate from the core message. Now, in a speech, there are 3 elements. 1, content which 100% should be there. The second circle, content which may or may not be there. And the outer circle, content which should not be there. It may be a great joke. It may be a personal story. If it does not connect your core message, please throw into the dustbin. And then check for grammar, analysis. Every word, every sentence should all form one single core unit. You may be Shakespeare in literature, but keep the language simple and actually which the audience can relate to. So these are some of macro analysis. Yes. I have to stop sharing the screen. Yes. Now I'm open for question and answers. What's the time now? Where is my timer?
It's 34 minutes, sir.
How many?
34 minutes.
54.
34.
34. Perfect. I'm on time. Yes, go ahead. Elisa, I usually have some fun, very good questions. Let's have a discussion. We'll not call questions. Let's have interaction. You're on mute, Elisa.
Okay, my question is, some people, when they start to give the speech, they are having a lot of ideas. But how to make sure that the ideas, okay, there is a lot of ideas, but we need to put in 5 to 7 minute speech. So how to compress? And sometimes when you are giving, you have the ideas, your ideas is go wild, go here and there. So how we are going to make sure that our speech 5 to 7 minutes is really focused in one thing?
I think that's a nice question. I used to have this challenge in this, we have hundreds of ideas. So what do you think you should, if you have the core message clear, the problem starts because the core message is not clear. You have to ask one question called the FAT formula. I use this thing called FAT formula. At the end of the speech, where A stands for act, A. Okay. F stands for feel and C stands for think. At the end of the speech, what do I want my audience to think, feel, and act? What do you want them to do at the end of your speech? First, write that down. The core message. For example, my core message is the world needs more compassionate people than successful people. Okay, that's a good one. So I want the end of my speech, I want the people to become more compassionate to their family, to their dogs, whatever. Now, when you write all the points, if anything deviates from this idea, any story, any touch that could be deviate, a lot of points will be there. Which is the most suitable for you to note it down? Now, it can change when you're delivering. You will feel, oh, this is not good, that is good. It's okay, throw it out. You must be comfortable with the story. If it's a borrowed story, you may not feel comfortable. If it's your own story, you may be comfortable. So each one of us have their own comfort level. So the first level, when you write down the speech and deliver, it may look, oh, this story is very nice. But when you deliver, no, you're not feeling it. Or when you deliver to somebody, you think it's a great joke. 7 people tell you, no, Eliza, it is not striking, you throw it out. So it's a trial error method, but you should feel, yeah, good. But do not deviate from the core message. Is it kind to the core message? Keep it. Okay. So fundamentally, for me, a 7-minute speech, I don't use more than 700 words. That's a maximum.
Yeah.
That's a maximum I use. Okay. And brevity is very important. Keep cutting. Can you get into the habit of writing, create a skill where you can say less, you can say more in less number of sentences?
Mhm.
These are 2 things.
Mhm.
Yes. Hello,
Yeah.
Kimlo. How are you doing?
Good, thank you, DTM Kadri. DTM Kadri, I noticed that in the world championship public speaking speech,
Hmm.
the contestant that usually win are the one that engage the audience much more, or they make them laugh more. Right. Now, and that is my first question. My second question is, when you talk about speaking in TEDx, right? In TEDx, the gesture and the vocal variety is not so important. It's the content that is important. So that does it mean that when we're speaking, we also have to depend on what platform we're speaking on?
A very beautiful question. Nobody's asked me this question. Beautiful question.
Yeah.
No, Toastmasters is a platform where we actually learn public speaking.
Yeah.
We learn the fundamentals. We become expert speakers. And our skills are tested on a platform worldwide. So at every level. Now, TEDx is a platform where an intellectual, knowledgeable, famous person who's carrying a strong knowledge base and a message to the world.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, if Dr. Abdul Kalam, Indian president, he may not have great vocal variety. He is respected for his ethos, for his credibility. People
Yeah.
love him for his credibility. They're looking at his content. Okay, he's not a drama master. He's come here with a message. They love him for it. So this ethos, pathos, logos, always I say, ethos is the ethics, the credibility of the person. Pathos is the ability to deliver the emotionally using body language. No? Logos are logic. So you shouldn't worry about the platform. You just stick to your natural style. It's like that today. Today, if I ask Gandhi to speak like Martin Luther King and Martin Luther speaking to little Gandhi, there'll be a fail. Stick to your natural style. That's all. But if you're learning public speaking, absolutely nothing wrong at becoming a good public speaker and come on TEDx, you'll be more effective.
Right.
That's it. But retain your original style. And you coming back to your question in contests, engaging the audience and humorous things, yes, it does. But if you notice the judging criteria, the humor must be connected to your topic, to your core message.
Obviously, yeah.
Otherwise, you will not win.
Mm.
Because it's not a humorous speech contest.
Yeah.
If you engage in the audience, is it relevant to the audience? Is it relevant to the topic? It's connected to the whole speech. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense.
Mm. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I have a question too.
Mm.
Yes. Subramanian Raghavan sir, solunga.
Yeah, welcome, sir. Okay, coming back to the question that Miss Kim Low have asked, I also have this question where when a person give a speech, all right, I've been to a few contests and a few platforms that I've seen, especially during the competition or the club competition or area competition or division competition. Now, I feel that this person gave a speech which actually very his own story and is very sensible, and he has the everything designed well to give the speech within 5-7 minutes. But whereas another person comes up and give a speech, maybe his pronunciation, his grammar is not right, but he has a lot of engagement with the audience. In the process of his speech, he makes the audience laugh, they get excited. And then finally, the person who I think is supposed to win with factful story, he does not win. It happened even today. Yeah, so everybody, as whether it's a judge or panel of judges, they have I'm not sure whether because I'm quite new to Toastmasters. Toastmasters have a guideline that actually there'll be more clarity in this. That's my question, sir.
Wonderful question, Subramaniam sir. See, judges are trained with a sheet. So for grammar, there may be 10 marks. For delivery, there may be 20 marks. Content, there may be 40 marks. So there are clear-cut marks for everything, for delivery, for content, for grammar, for appearance. It's very clearly written over there. So the whole thing becomes a beautiful cocktail, different elements. So I'm as a judge, when I'm looking at the contest, I do not get carried away by jokes or content, all that. I just keep marking exactly for each. Okay, appearance, 7 marks, he gets 7 marks. Okay. Then for delivery out of 45, it's good 33. So I keep putting those marks down. When I've been a judge in competitions, what I feel is the winner, or I think is the winner, when I total up my marks, the output is different. So I just go on rationality, statistics, and the mark sheet in front of me, nothing else. Because it is completely created scientifically, and we are trained to check those things, not what I feel. That's why it's called judging. No, that's why we are trained to go upon those things. Yet we may make mistakes. It happens to judges. That's why there are about 10 judges to average it out. But judges are trained to go by strict judging criteria on delivery, content, appearance, grammar, etc., etc.
The time is up, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. You can tell me. My 45 minutes is over. We've gone to the question time.
Yes, 45 minutes is over, and we're about to start the meeting soon after this.
Yes, I see. Me, Frost. Hello. All Chan, Yusuf. Hello, how are you? You're munching something. Dinner time, you should share with me. Go ahead, please.
Okay, I believe we are at the end, and I see a hand. Paul will allow you for a short, just to give you some time, because we will have to get back distinguished Toastmaster Kadri for a part 2. So exciting. Yes, go ahead, Paul.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster. My question is based around the fact that we are often advised in Toastmasters, well, always advised in Toastmasters, to have a call to action at the end of a speech. The call to action is often telling the audience what you would like them to do, short term or long term. I think that's usually my experience. There is another principle which underpins communication with people, and it's called show, not tell. If you show people what to do, you do not tell them what to do. You leave the decision up to them to decide what they are going to do, but your emphasis is on showing. I'd like to know your opinion about the difference between show and tell at the end of a speech, please.
Yeah. It depends on what is the objective of your speech. For example, when I go and give a keynote for about 40 minutes, I need to raise funds for an asset victims. A very clear call to action saying that please donate to this cause. Okay, I'm very clear about it. I need to do that. And there are some times when I ask them to reflect and think about that. So it depends. I don't think every Toastmaster speeches end in call to action. It could be direct, indirect. So fundamentally, when you start your speech, it depends upon the speaker. What is his objective? Does he want them to reflect? He wants them to take step 1, 2, 3. So it's up to them. Speakers sometimes just leave it to the audience itself to do what they want to do. It may be just in the middle. It may be no call to action. It may be too much of reflection. So I think it's the choice of the topic and choice of the speaker. What does he want to do with the speech? What does he want to do? What do you want them to reflect? Because every time you can't force people to do something. So my answer would be that whether it is show or call to action depends on the objective of your speech, the type of speech, the audience you're addressing. Fundamentally, what is it you want to achieve from this speech? It all depends upon it. There are no hard and fast rules about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. From which part of the world you are, sir?
I'm from Ireland.
Ireland, wow, beautiful. The place of all the great singers. Christy Burke. Christy Burke is a famous singer, right? Christy Burke.
Right. Wow.
Thank you, Jasmine.
What an awesome session. Distinguished Toastmaster Eliza, I think you should stand at the door and allow every person on this platform to pay. Man, this was an awesome session. We have to get a part 2 where we probably have the speakers and we have distinguished Toastmaster Kadri critique the speeches, but something has to work up. You are an excellent. I have learned so much. And before you, Toastmaster Uraniti, comes with the official thank you, let me just encourage persons, if you have found today's talk inspiring, I encourage you to stay connected with distinguished Toastmaster Kadri. Though he does not focus on branding or self-promotion, his work is reflected in hundreds of life-changing testimonials. You can contact him on LinkedIn or YouTube under the name Kadri Pethi. So please go on and continue to listen and learn, because with a wealth of knowledge here this afternoon, and we are truly grateful. Please remember to stay on. All of us on the platform, stay on for our backward meeting with World Travelers Toastmasters Club. You cannot afford to miss the backward meeting today. So please stay on. So again, I'm going to ask Toastmaster Uniati to come with the official thank you to our distinguished Toastmaster Kadri and close off the session. Thanks again, sir.
Thank you. Eliza, please kindly share the certificate. Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Kadri Pethi. We all learned so much about this. And we will use the map to practice our speech. So pay attention for speech crafter. You have homework. Your homework is to apply what you learned today by preparing speech, 3 to 5 minutes speech. We will give you opportunity to present it for next meeting. Okay, Eliza, please. The certificate. Give me a second. Okay. Ram will help us with the photo taking.
Thank you.
Please kindly pin. Yes. Okay. Ram, please take picture. All right. Thank you, everyone. And now we will take a group photo. Thank you, Eliza. We will also send this certificate, soft copy certificate to DTM Kadri Pethi. Now we will have a group photo for everyone. Ram, please proceed.
Yes, please turn on your cameras for a quick photo before our World Travelers meeting starts. If you don't want to be in the photo, just turn your camera off. What I'll do is I'll hide everyone. I can't hide. Okay, doesn't matter. Cheese. Screen 1. And screen 2. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. The speechcraft urgent, but we will continue with World Travelers Toastmasters Club meeting. So see you soon. Stay back for the next meeting.